where you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, and bam, 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 married.
Congratulations!
Yeah,
congratulations. Yeah, I hope you have a happy life.
And then also more recently now, baby. So they all heard as well.
Yeah, because parents, they all speak on speakerphones, right?
No, parents.
Yeah, learn
learn
to be private, right?
Yes,
I love to pick the brain about different things. Or what's hip now,
Yeah.
What's the lingo now?
They will keep us young.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back to FUNDAY Chat. I am Wade, and today we have
James. I'm back
with us again.
Back again.
Always good to have James back.
Yeah, man. I always love it. Yeah.
So, James, today I want to talk about marriage. Let's get into it. And the reason why I want to talk about marriage today is because I did just come back from South Africa.
Right.
And part of the reason why I went to South Africa was to go see and attend my friend's wedding. Yeah. And now I'm recognizing that I'm obviously at that age where you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, and bam, 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 married.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
congratulations. Yeah, I hope you have a happy life.
And then also more recently now, baby. So it's just like everyone around me, including yourself, right?
Yeah.
Everyone around me, they're just like on that next phase, either getting married or having babies.
Same, yeah.
Now, I am curious because, like we said, you are a father of two kids.
That's right.
And what age did you get married in?
Well, I got married in 2019, so I'm 36 or turning 37 now. So that'll be 5 years. Yeah, so 32 roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm 31, so that means I still have one more year.
One more year. Well, yeah, it's not a race. Not a race. Yeah,
you're right. But obviously, I think like it's funny because culturally, when I'm here in Taiwan, I'm sort of right on time. Because like most of my friends...
I guess, like it's a different era now. Yeah. It's not like when we were in our grandparents' time where you need to get married around
very
like
young.
Early 20s and have like 10 children or something
Especially in Asian culture nowadays, like people are getting married much later into their mid-30s.
Right.
And having kids later too.
Yeah, well, I guess people want to focus on their career before they feel like they're ready to have children, right?
Right. So... we want to touch on these certain things, but from your perspective and maybe from our own experiences of people that we know as well, let's maybe talk about what is the pros and cons of being married young, and then what are the pros and cons of getting married later. So since you were considered married later, right? Yeah. Let's touch on that first. Like, what do you think were the benefits for being married later?
Well, originally, I've always thought that, I'll meet the love of my life and I'll get married in my early to mid-20s.
Right, same here.
So I always thought that, and then I'll have a kid and I'll be like a young dad.
Yes.
To be a young dad, and so by the time they're teenagers, I'm not going to be that much older. I will be able to still connect. But of course, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's a totally different story.
Yeah.
I've always been like... never had much luck with girls. Right?
Really?
Yeah. Well,
with your personality?
With my personality, maybe is because my personality is brings too much insecurities for girls because I'm too nice to everybody.
You're too nice.
I'm a Libran, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I'm always nice to people. Yeah. That's what I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, but in all seriousness, I just never had that luck. But I met my wife when I least expected it.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's what they sometimes say, right? Like when you least expect to find the person, they kind of show up.
That's right. Yeah. And I did go to Longshansi to 拜月老,
okay.
I guess he answered my prayers.
All right.
But maybe just a few years too late. But hey, at least it happened. Right?
You were saying now you got married at 32.
Yeah.
And what do you think was the benefit of waiting till you're 32 to be married?
Well, the reason I got married was because, when I married my wife, she was already pregnant with my son.
Oh, okay.
Right, so I guess it's kind of like to seal the deal.
Yeah, it's called a shotgun wedding.
Shotgun wedding, yeah. So, shotgun wedding.
Have you ever heard that term before? Okay, it's just funny when you think about it.
Right? So I feel like it's like, my my wife is pregnant. Okay, I need to be responsible now.
Yes.
Okay, marry the girl.
Yeah.
And start the family.
Yeah.
I remember when I was talking to her. Okay, we were just on the phone because we were in a long distance relationship for about 5 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and then because she's a flight attendant, so she will fly to Melbourne, and so we'll meet up with each other in the beginning about once a month, and it became longer and longer.
Yeah.
I'll probably see her maybe once after every half a year or something like that.
Okay.
And one day I was just talking to her, and she goes like, she was throwing. I'm like, okay.
食物中毒.
It's like, I hope so. I hope so. But it's like, oh no, I think you should go get the kit. Okay, and then she got the kit. It's like, oh, hello, 2 stripes. Oh, COVID. But no, that was way before COVID.
Oh,
okay.
No.
So I'm like, okay, so this is it. All right, and then I called my mom. And then I told her, okay, so yes, you got 中奖了, you know. Got the prize.
You're a grandma.
And but you know what happened at that time was so funny. She had guests over.
So they all heard as well?
Yeah, because parents, they all speak on speakerphones, right?
No, parents.
Yeah. Learn to be private, right? So it was on speakerphone, and then we just announced it. But luckily, it was all their close friends. So the uncles and aunties that I've known ever since I was small.
Okay.
And then just so happens, one of the auntie also had the similar news to share.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So I guess it's like, happiness all around. The next generation is happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So so my wife got pregnant, and then so I decided, okay, I need to be responsible for her and for the next stage of my life, and then so got married. But we only registered for the marriage. I haven't really had a wedding yet at all.
Okay.
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't think the wedding is really necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, save money.
Save money. A lot of young people nowadays are just registering.
Yeah, it's like I did get a few close friends over for dinner. Okay. Well, they attended the registry.
Yes.
And then just to witness, and I feel like that's the wedding itself.
Okay. Yeah. So I also looked up because I'm not married yet, so I'm still a single guy. So
ladies, what's up?
I haven't crossed that line yet.
Man, the guy's been on TV shows, and he's gonna be the next in the drama series and stuff like that.
Thank you. Just waiting for the right person.
Absolutely,
waiting for the right person. But I ChatGPT'd some of the things, some of the pros and cons, and let's go through them. And let's do it. Let's see, if you agree with this, right? So I think they said getting married later in life, it gives you some personal and financial stability. What do you think about that?
Well, it depends on the guy first. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I left. I guess when I came back to Taiwan, it was just really messy. Okay, because I actually during COVID back in Australia, I lost my job because my job was deemed unnecessary because I was working in the retail industry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so the government shut all that down.
Yeah.
So I was my original plan was to bring them back to Australia, but I had to. Change the plans. And then so I figured, okay, I think it's time for me to come back to Taiwan.
Well, so I guess it depends, but generally speaking, at a later stage of our life, we would be more...
Well, I guess we're more responsible with our finances, and then we know what we need to do now.
Yes.
Like yeah.
And then the second point that they say is life experience. So obviously, by the age of 32, you have more life experience, so you have more things that you can maybe share and be aware of.
Well, experience. Well, you never experience have enough experience being a parent. Yeah. But maybe in marriage. Well, to be honest, I have no idea about anything because my wife was actually my first official girlfriend.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So I never really had much experience in terms of...
But I mean, not necessarily for life, for love life. You have more experience just
in general, yeah, of course. Yeah. I've been working for over a decade already, so I've already built enough experience in knowing, actually building enough EQ.
Yes, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Having emotional intelligence is, I think people are prioritizing that more now than IQ because you're recognizing that in different environments and different spaces, people need to know how to respond to each other and work together versus just having a high IQ.
That's right. High IQ, you're clever, but you know how to handle life.
Yeah, that comes with the experience.
Yeah.
Well, the third one here, it says career focus. So maybe later on in life, if you married later, you would have been more career focused, But I guess in this day and age, like honestly, it changes, right?
Yeah, it does. I mean,
COVID happened, so many things.
Yeah, so some people, like for example, myself, like I have to restart my career. Or when I came back to Taiwan, I started my new career as a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was like being a teacher it's something very new to me.
Right, but I think you do it well.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's all part of my my people skills that allowed me to survive.
Yeah, part of your journey.
Yeah.
Now the cons, let's get to some of them.
All right.
They say that people who get married later, they might be set in their ways. So this idea comes obviously to the older we get, the more we start having a certain way of doing things. We have certain way of enjoying life, or like what we like to do on weekends. And when you try to introduce another person into your life, like in a marriage, you're like, that's not how I fold my
Well, I guess
blanket.
you need to find that out way beforehand. If you're like, oh, this is not the way I squeeze my toothpaste.
Right.
Or are you a scruncher or are you a folder?
Yeah.
Right? Like, well, I guess, for me, don't be too set on certain ways. I mean, everybody has their own habits.
Right.
Of course, it's all about working together and compromises. Oh, compromise.
Yes.
Everything is about compromise.
Yeah, so I think definitely the solution to that point, because I do think the older we get, the more set we are in our ways. But when it comes to marriage, the compromising
it takes two to tango, right?
Yeah,
then if you only focus and set on your own thoughts and train away, I don't think it's going to last very long.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, another thing, which I think a lot of people are considering nowadays, especially if you're a girl, unfortunately to say, is that there's a biological clock.
Right, especially for ladies,
Yeah, so, getting married later, that's also something to consider.
Well, it is a health risk for ladies, definitely.
Yeah.
But for guys, we can like look at Robert De Niro, right? 80-something years old and he's got a new baby.
Crazy.
Yeah. So for us, man, I guess it's all about us to maintain good health. But for ladies, it is better, I would say, for them to have kids earlier on.
Yeah, if they're planning to do so.
If it's in their plans. Yeah.
But it is crazy now that like we have technology that allows them to actually,
Right. There's many other ways. I mean, we've got the IVF treatment and of course surrogacy.
Yeah.
But I don't know, depending on whether it's legal in some countries and things like that. But
ultimately that's a factor to consider.
Right.
Obviously.
Well, if some people even like adoption.
Yeah. And then the last point here, it says like it reduced time together. So of course that just means, like if you get married later,
you mean reduce time together between absolutely, yeah. So our life, especially after having kids, the life it revolves around the kids.
The children,
the kids are the star, the center.
Yep.
We're just the planets floating around. Try to service them. Oh my god, So think about all the sleepless nights.
I can't imagine.
I had my second one. So my son is already 4 years old now, so he can sleep past the night.
Regular.
Normally now, but of course I have my daughter. So she's only 1 year old and she is a glutton.
Yeah.
She loves to eat and then she needs that midnight cocktail.
Yep.
All right. So definitely like it may be around all the time 1:30 in the morning.
Oof.
Okay, all right. So I'm like half awake.
Yeah. Man, I don't know how parents do it. It's crazy.
Well, it is.
I'm looking forward to be a father, but like that part,
not looking forward to that part.
I don't know how you guys do it because like
you just got to do what you got to do, man.
That's true. That's true. It comes down to it. You got to do what you got to do. Now, very quickly, let's touch on maybe the benefits of getting married younger. It seems like we have friends in our own lives that have gotten married younger, and it sounds like, like they go through everything that you go through as a parent, as a spouse.
So they look at you now as like, you're only at that part.
Yeah. Right? Like if they had kids earlier, then that means that the kids also grow with them.
Yeah, so it's kind of sense like, they're growing through. Well, I guess like when you're in your early 20s, you're still like pretty much a teenager.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you still feel that way.
Even you're not really an adult yet. But if you're able, like if you have a kid, for example, you have a kid at 18 years old.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You're definitely not going to be like you would definitely need a lot of help. But if you push through that aspect and then you become an adult, your kids are definitely growing with you.
Yeah.
Right? I think you will actually have a closer relationship with your kid because your age is not that far apart.
Yeah.
Right.
I think like for me, the benefit of getting married and having kids younger is that you have more energy, I'd assume. As we're younger, we have more energy to spend. And then like they obviously grow up, let's say 18, you're legal and they go out the house. So let's say if you were, 20 seems like a reasonable age, you have a kid, then by 38,
they'll be 18.
They'll be 18 and out of the house, and then you're...
Well, I wouldn't... Well, yeah, I can keep them out of the house, but you know what I actually look forward to the most, and I say this all the time, I can't wait until my kid, or either my son or daughter, when they turn 18. I was like, okay, son, it's time to go to the pub with daddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
For them
to have a drink with me. It was like, well, it's like, okay, only one standard drink because you got to drive later. Yeah. Okay, well, but in Taiwan, no drinking if you're driving.
Not in Taiwan.
Okay.
In Taiwan.
But in Australia, you're allowed to have one standard drink.
Okay.
And per hour actually.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah. So if you can so if they follow the rules, you can drive daddy home. So daddy can drink lots.
Yeah. Wow.
But I would love to have that deeper conversation with them, like as they grow up, especially like chatting to whether it's my the daughter or the son, it's like, oh, what's going on now?
Yes.
I'd love to pick the brain about different things. Oh, what's hip now? Yeah. What's the lingo now?
They will keep us young.
Yeah. It's like all this new term, skibbity and all that kind of stuff. It's like whoa.
I can't even keep up with all the terms because
me too, man.
like they say all these things and it keeps changing so quickly, and you're like,
does this
mean that or this means that? Like it's so confusing. But
right.
But yeah, man, there's so many things again to touch on. I think when it comes to marriage, whether it's younger, getting married young or old. But at the end of the day, I think for me, I think it's different for everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, if you meet the right person, you will. It's all about that journey you guys go through together. Yes. So it's all about having that communication all throughout the relationship.
Yeah.
And definitely do not shy away from tough discussions. And if you guys are able to work through that, even at an early young age, you guys are just going to be mature so much faster.
Yeah.
So of course, like it's all about the maturity. I mean, there are young people that already are like very mature, and there are still older people that's still very immature.
Yep. So
each to their own.
It doesn't mean the age defines your maturity.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're able to find the love of your life, get married early, have children early, settle down quick. Hey, some people that is a win.
Yep.
That is success. Yeah.
So, well, hopefully there's some insights, but thank you for sharing some of your insights with me.
Yeah.
And
definitely invite me to your wedding.
Everything of the best with your kids. And one day when it happens,
man.
You know.
I'll fly back for sure.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, you guys have a good episode. We'll see you next time.
Take care. Bye.